Guys, today we are going to be talking about the most notorious entrepreneur, motivational speaker, fitness trainer, self-help guru, if you will. The man, the myth, the felon, legend, Wes Watson.
I've been that motherfucker for so long, it'll fuck your brain up. On my 13th Rolls Royce, I was jacked before you guys ever even wanted to fucking get jacked. I had tats before you ever... I went to prison before you ever even thought you were ever going to do anything in your life. Got out and still killed it. I was a millionaire before prison. You guys don't know who the fuck you're looking at if you think you fucking are someone when you're standing next to the motherfuckers who really fucking did it.
Guys, I don't know how you haven't heard of him. Everybody knows who he is.
Can you guys share with our viewers what you do for a living?
What do you do for a living? I'm Wes Watson. Everybody knows who I am.
What's your name?
Wes Watson.
Wes Watson? Okay, awesome.
But before we get into today's video, I do need to provide a bit of a disclaimer just because Wes Watson is a huge baby back bitch. So everything that is said in this video is purely my opinion based on the information that's available. None of this should be taken as fact, nor is it intended to defame, harm, or misrepresent any of the individuals mentioned. All statements are based on publicly available information, and viewers should do their own research. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Danielle. Please do me a favor and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a video. Now, to be quite honest with you, I have been following Wes Watson for a very long time. Not because I like him or any of his content, but quite frankly, ironically, I thought he would end up in prison. When I would look at his content, I thought he was running some sort of pyramid scheme because he would post video after video of guys kissing his ass, claiming that he was helping them make $90,000, $100,000, or even like $1 million a month, which is just ridiculous.
Wes, numbers are in for quarter one. Did $90,000, just under $100K in 3 months with you. Brother, thank you.
We've done about 6.5 million. Like
6.5 million.
I was making $20,000 a month. $20,000 a month.
Wes showed me the way. He showed me the path of where I could take what made me successful and teach it to other people and change their lives. And I followed his blueprint, and by doing that, it allowed me to make 6 figures in my first year of coaching, and this is just the beginning.
Then I would go click on their pages, and they would have like 200,000 followers and no comments or likes on any of their photos. But anyways, at the start of his career, when he was released from prison, perhaps he had a good message.
Shots have to be called, and guess what? Your boy's been a shot caller.
stop the cap.
In 2010, Wes was convicted of robbery, burglary, assault, and battery, and was sentenced to 9 years in prison. And when he was released, he started making YouTube videos sitting on a park bench, yapping about how you can turn your life around, spewing all the typical motivational bullshit about how your past doesn't define you, blah, blah, blah. And you know what? I won't knock it because perhaps that can be helpful for some people. And I guess some people claimed that they liked his message. So you know the drill. This wouldn't be a Wellsies video if I didn't jump back in with edits after I was already done filming. So over the years, Wes has faced a lot of backlash as people started digging into his claims. As I said, he would film videos talking about his stories from a park bench, talking about how he was a shot caller and whatnot. But what really stood out to people was how elaborate, dramatic, and just unrealistic the stories sounded. Many men who have spent a lot of time in prison themselves came out saying that they either were in prison with Wes or they have done just as much time as Wes, and the stories he was telling were just not possible. They pointed out certain inconsistencies and that the way he described prison running was just not the way things happened in real life. The way he would describe things was sort of out of a movie. Essentially, they were calling him a liar and thought that he was exaggerating, if not fabricating, his entire story. Now, prison content is a big niche here on YouTube. I guess it's called like Prison Tube, where many former inmates will start a YouTube channel and talk about their experiences and their time behind bars. And while some are in support of Wes, many have started calling him out and questioning his credibility. They believe he's been embellishing his past, but about a year ago, a man released a video about Wes's background on the channel called A Convicts Perspective, and I've linked the channel in the video in the description, so you should really go check it out if you have a chance. It's about 15 minutes long. It's a really easy listen. you can even put it on 2x speed if you're interested in hearing more about the Wes story and the whole debacle. But in that video, the creator obtained Wes's records, and he claims that not only was Wes exaggerating, he was outright lying about his whole prison experience. He had talked about being in level 4 prisons, extreme violence, and just navigating this really dangerous environment, and turns out he was never even in some of those prisons in the first place, so the creator claims. And in many of Wes's interviews, he confidently names many of the prisons that he supposedly stayed at, and this creator found that the records, they don't match. So at this point, at least to me, in my opinion, it's clear that Wes is playing a character. Whether he knows it or not, or whether he's just in too deep at this point to go back, who knows? But one thing is for certain, he's not the type to admit when he's wrong. So I think even if he does know that this whole thing is a facade, he will never admit it. He'll never admit that he's done anything wrong, in my opinion. But that's the whole issue. He's built this whole platform and positioned himself as a mentor, guiding young men, claiming to help them. But if he's willing to lie about something so small, like the prisons he stayed at, his stories about fights, and even some things we'll hear about later on in the video, what else is he willing to lie about? His wealth, his possessions, his business? I don't know. And some people already believed that he was lying, grifting, and scamming, so the revelation that he's lied about his origin story only reinforces what people already believed to be true. Personally, I'm somebody who feels that once you lie to me, I don't believe anything you say. So that's kind of why I wanted to highlight that situation, especially because I didn't go into detail about his stories that he told on the park bench. So again, if you're curious about his paperwork, records, and time he spent in prison, go check out the video linked in the description.
Like, it's an act. It's got to be an act. And everybody's like, it's not an act. But the problem is, over the next 2 years, I got people that were like, hey, bro, like, can I get your email? Or they were sending me emails. And they were saying, listen, that's like, I was locked up with this dude. He wasn't anything like that. And we weren't in a pen. Right. Like, I don't know what pen he's taught. Maybe, and they would say stuff like, maybe he was in a pen, but we were in a low, or we were at a medium security, and it was nothing like what he's talking about. Right. And, I would have all kinds of guys saying stuff like that.
But now Wes has sort of shifted from standing on the corner of the street trying to motivate people to yelling at his phone all hours of the day and, of course, selling courses.
Sum it up, the difference between the two programs I offer. One program is to build you, to get yourself ripped, get your mind right, get your habits right. That's one program, my mid-level. I also have an elite version of that. But I mean, there's basically cut up into two shit. Do you want to build you, or do you want to build your brand online? That's as simple as I can put it. Like, a lot of people are so fucking stupid. They should just look at what I do and say, how can this benefit me? If you see people getting ripped, you want to get ripped, say, get me ripped. If you see people getting rich and you want to get rich, say, hey, can you teach me to sell my product or service online the way you sell your service online? And I'll be like, yeah, but you probably will be so stupid you won't agree with it because you think you know and you think you have to sell it like a business. Anytime you build a personal brand and you build trust and you have thousands and thousands of followers, that will build your business, you fucking dense fucks.
In my opinion, he has morphed into a bald troll with short man syndrome and roid rage, charging weak men thousands of dollars to degrade and yell at them.
He said, like, if you paid like $200, Wes talks to you for like 30 minutes on the phone or something like that. And he actually paid the money to Wes and then got on like a Zoom call with him. He goes, I swear to God, he said, Wes called me a bitch about 15 times within the first 10 minutes. What? You need to stop bitching up, bro. Or you're bitching up, bro. Man, what are you acting like a bitch? What's wrong with you? You're a bitch. I mean, he's like, listen, he said it was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. He said it was worth every single dime I paid. He said he hung up on me twice. He said I called back. He yelled at me again. He said, I got abused for like 10, 15 minutes. Finally, he hung up and didn't answer. He hasn't took my money.
Wow.
And in my opinion, scamming them.
Wes Watson. I text him. He hits me back. Yo, what's up, big dog? I'm like, hey, how you doing? And he's doing his whole shtick. For $2,500, you get this. Comes with blah, blah, blah. $5,000, you get this. Comes with blah, blah, blah. I'm already seeing red flags because I'm doing the math. And he's saying, I make X amount of $1 million a month. And I'm thinking to myself, even if those three were the high ticket item, you would have to sell this many a month. That means you would have to talk to this many a month personally. So I was like, okay, I'm still entertained.
I can still get something from this.
So he's like, I'm doing a mastermind, Miami. This is what you get. Day 1, blah, blah, blah. Day 2, day 3. And I'm listening to it, and I'm like, so really all I get is dinner with you and some pictures and to be on your videos, and that's going to draw attention to me because I'm with Wes Watson. So I hit him up. I said, how much is it? So he's like, it's 15 grand. And I was like, to hang out with Wes Watson for 3 days, I don't know. Fast forward, right after the thing, he's like, he's on his story. All you haters want to talk about my cars rented. He's got the title, Lamborghini, Wes Watson. Bentley, Wes Watson. So I was like, bro, who cares? Like, who the fuck cares? Why would you even waste your breath on these people? And this guy messages me back, you don't even have 15 grand, so shut the fuck up. Why are you even talking? I was like, what? You can't even afford to come to the fucking mastermind. And I'm just like, dude, I'll slap the shit out of you.
All right, so you don't have to believe that man's story, nor am I telling you to. But I do, especially because if you know anything about Wes, you know that this is exactly the way he speaks, and he goes after and attacks anybody who doesn't want to buy any of his fuck-ass courses. And first off, pretty bold of him to assume that anyone would want a life like his. Because to me, it seems miserable, inauthentic, and just like a total facade. I mean, honestly, does this guy screaming at his phone look happy to you? Genuinely, does he look happy? Is this what happiness looks like to you? He doesn't seem content, so what exactly am I supposed to get from one of these courses? Because I don't want anything that you have. No, thank you.
DM me business right now to build your personal brand or your coaching business. You guys, you should not ever wait on something like this. The knowledge I'm going to teach you is applicable for life. And some people start earning 10 grand the first month, and it exponentially grows.
So as you will start to see throughout this video, this man has quite the imagination, creating fake pseudo scenarios and then rambling about them on Instagram. He's no different than the mentally ill addict yelling outside of 7-Eleven. Only this guy is doing it from his mansion that he rents for $95,000 a month because, oh yeah, he rents his place. In my opinion, he is completely full of shit. There's no other way to put it. Just a whole lot of assumptions and a complete fantasy that he's living in. Is this somebody who you really want to get advice from? Someone who's paying $95,000 a month for something they don't even own? I mean, hook me up with the landlord. I'll take advice from him. He's laughing at your goofy ass all the way to the bank.
How much is it a month in rent for here?
$95,000.
Holy shit. I thought I have to pay $60K a month. My landlord bumped it $10K.
Oh, $60K is nothing.
Yeah, I know. And
this guy sells motivational courses and gives you the tools to succeed, or as he would frame it, provides value. Because, I mean, of course he does. Just look at him.
A lot of the stuff people put out online and a lot of the stuff people say, even top people, it all came from me, straight up. All of it. Really all comes. So the other day came in my comments and said, hey, this person said it best earlier. I said, really? They said that? Dipshit? Why don't you rewind the tape and realize where that came from? I am the brains behind a lot of these massive topics and understandings because my brain works differently. I'm not like you guys. I was in prison forever and my brain operates differently because of that. That's why I came up with all this shit that nobody out here can come up with.
If you look on Reddit for no more than 30 seconds, you will find story after story after story of men sharing their experiences about how Wes either scammed them or tried to scam them.
So I had reached out to Wes when I had about 12,000 followers. I was brand new to the game, and I wanted to help monetize my passion for helping others. I wanted to take my game to the next level. So I hit him up. I say, Wes, what's all included? He gives me this big breakdown of all these promises, client acquisition funnels, all this other bullshit. So I send him the 3,000. What do I get in return? An 1,800 calorie meal plan. That's it. 2 months pass by. I hit him up. Say, is this how you get down, big dog? 3 grand, and that's all I get. He starts losing it on me. He calls me. He said, you think a motherfucker like you can with a motherfucker like me? I said, bet, see you around. He said, where the fuck do you live at? I said, Texas. He said, I'm gonna send my homie from San Antonio to kill you and your whole fucking family at your house. I said, bet, big dog. After finally getting his one-on-one call for his elite business coaching, I could have taken that $3,000, lit it on fire, and it would have provided more value for me.
And on his Instagram page, he posts all the typical alpha male brain rot bullshit while belittling the people that follow him, whom he mentors, as well as the haters alike.
You guys don't have the stare, you don't have the energy, you don't have the aura of a motherfucker who can't be stopped. You guys stop yourselves. You ain't even good enough at
You motherfuckers can't even stop stopping yourselves. You haven't even made it to the level where life tries to stop you. You fucking motherfuckers need to realize that when I tell you you have to live a certain way before you ever become anything, there's no hack to it. You'll be one of these fucking nerdy ass knacks with little pocket change that nobody respects. Who the fuck is that?
And he films himself all day yapping, but yet he claims he's sick of people who just want to hear people talk all day.
If you guys like some guy who talks a certain way on camera, there's a fucking problem. Why the fuck does everybody have to have someone talk so much and talk them into all this shit? Like, do you want it or not? You should be going to the guy who has the best blueprint for success and already just be committed to doing it. Like, I like stuff Andrew Tate says. I like stuff I've said. I like when it comes together and there's like wordplay. But like, is that entertainment or is it value? I'm sick of it. I can't stand it anymore that all you fucking people want to hear people talk so much.
All he does is talk. I'm surprised this guy still even has a voice. He also often films himself yapping at his phone, running around the streets of Miami, dressed in just the absolute goofiest, gaudiest outfits you've ever seen in your life. I mean, guys, he wears the typical quintessential alpha male gym bro starter pack while also toting around a crossbody purse. And when I say he runs around the streets of Miami screaming, I mean, this guy does not know how to act in public. Imagine sitting out on the patio of one of these restaurants and suddenly the short, bald guy with roid rage walks down the street yelling at the top of his lungs. And he wants to act like he's such high class with all this money, yet he doesn't even know how to act. No decorum whatsoever. Wes is just an absolute menace to society. And guys, look at the video I just showed, him holding his portable charger. He is on his phone so much, he has to carry that portable charger with him everywhere he goes. Otherwise, his phone would die. And I imagine that's the reason why he has to carry his purse around, because he needs to have his charger with him. And his favorite thing to post, well, second favorite aside from getting on Instagram begging guys to come to his gym and fight him, his second favorite thing to post is Q&As.
Q&A? Q&A! Q&A! So guess what? Q&A, motherfucker! Q&A, Q&A, Q&A.
Who on earth needs advice from this guy? This is the last person on earth that should be giving anyone advice. He's the one who needs the advice. And if you're wondering what he screams about on his phone, most of the time he's screaming about watches, cars, girls, material things, because materialism is the most important thing to this guy. And yes, he does consider women material possessions, in my opinion.
The main key to a healthy relationship is if your partner addresses a need that they want, you do it. And you don't argue about it. And you don't tell them it's not significant. Like, I tell her to fucking greet me when I come in the goddamn house or when I'm around to make sure that she shows she's attracted to me. And she doesn't really do it. And that's a problem we have. What do I do? What do you want me to do that you don't do? What do you want me to do that I don't do?
To be just aware that I'm a mom and the baby is like...
But that's no excuse. Like, I need to be addressed. That's it. I don't need 15 minutes. I don't need 30 minutes. I need to be addressed in a certain way often. And people are like, why? So that I don't have to get it from other bitches. Because I'm going to get attention from women. And that's what I'm going to do. So either you're going to give it to me or someone else is. So
have it all.
See, the point is make sure you give your man attention.
Guys, please take note that he is speaking to her like that in front of her little daughter. How old is this little girl? And he is speaking to her in that way in front of her. Like, great example you're setting there. His level of insecurity is unreal. Listen to me. If a man ever speaks to you in this tone and tells you to do something, otherwise he'll find it elsewhere, leave. Leave immediately. Leave his ass, because who the hell does he think he is? If any man ever threatens you in that way, just say, don't let me stand in your way, and walk away. Do not ever let anyone treat you like this. Please, please, please. I don't care how much money they have. And I'm going to tell you guys a little something. You may not believe me. I've been with millionaires. I've had guys buy me apartments, cars, jewelry, diamonds, whatever I wanted, okay? And I left because I wasn't happy. I knew what I deserved and I knew how I wanted to be treated. So do not ever let somebody treat you like this boy just because they apparently have money. He is not some prize here at all. Now that we got that out of the way, this is exactly what I mean when I say that this man is just giving advice left and right when he has zero qualifications to be giving anybody any sort of advice, especially when it comes to relationships. Are you kidding me? It's obvious to me that he is the one who needs relationship advice. He shouldn't be giving anybody any sort of relationship advice whatsoever. Please, sir, stay in your lane. Stay in the gym. Stay out of the relationship advice realm because you're not the one. Just because he thinks he's Mr. Richness, suddenly that makes him an expert on everything. He admitted himself that he has been on and off with that girl Angie like 90 times. And yes, he probably was exaggerating, but it is clear they have a very tumultuous, toxic relationship. He was even on a podcast, a tell-all podcast recently with her, talking about their relationship, trying to make it seem like it's so healthy and they have this like ride or die relationship. But even through all the smoke and mirrors and the lies, I could clearly see how dysfunctional it really was. So I don't know, maybe just take relationship advice from couples who have been together 9-10 years and don't break up every other week or threaten each other to leave, who constantly talk about finding someone better and who talk down to each other.
Hey, if I take your advice, am I gonna end up like you, motherfucker?
So yeah, Wes, maybe let the couples with healthy relationships give the relationship advice and you stick to exaggerating your prison stories, okay? And then this poor girl already telling him that she has a headache, she's not really feeling well. Wes proceeds to stick a camera in her face, yelling like he always does, and just bothering her. And yes, I get it. It's his house and he can yell if he wants to, but it's common decency. You claim to like be in a relationship with this girl and you want it to work, but yet you won't even give her the respect of quieting your damn voice so she can feel better from her headache. Like if someone has a headache, would you yell at your phone right next to their ear? It's just common respect. I don't know. I would hate to have a headache or not feel well around Wes. I would have been gone a long time ago.
We're on the way to get her a Glock today. Fouty.
But I left my ID,
She left her ID at home
because I have an earache right now. I took the bottle away from the baby, and this is why sometimes we get an argument because I'm just not feeling well and I'm trying to contain myself for the baby. It has nothing to do with not greeting him. Of course, I would always
I need greets. I need greets. I need my grabbed. I need people to fucking tell me I'm amazing because if not, they are. That is what it is.
And there it is, guys. He claims to not care what people think and be completely indifferent to people's opinions, but yet he slips up and accidentally reveals the truth that he needs constant validation and to constantly hear how amazing he is. So here he is doing another goddamn Q&A, and his girlfriend says that it's a struggle for her to post constantly because she has her baby and she feels like it's more important for her to be present and in the moment than to be constantly filming herself on her phone. Like Wes. And what does he do, guys? He has the audacity, the gall to say that that's low-level thinking. Can you imagine being a mom and some fucking bald douchebag tells you that it's low-level thinking to want to be present with your kid and not be on your phone all day like he is? Are you out of your mind? Sir, you're not even a parent. Those aren't even your fucking kids. Now listen, I always say that I am more than willing to give credit where credit is due. And from what I can see online, though, of course, I don't know if this is true in real life, but from what I can see online, the way he treats the baby, not the teenager, because we'll see in a second that he doesn't treat the teenager the same way, but the way he treats the baby is very sweet. And I respect that. I respect that he can be sweet and nurturing and kind to a baby, which is the bare minimum, right? It's nice that he is supporting them, or at least he claims he does. And I think at least in videos or on his Instagram stories, he does treat the baby as his own. There was a long time where I stopped following him and watching his videos, but then when I started kind of like keeping up again just to be nosy, I saw the baby and I actually thought it was his own child because of how, sweet he was to her. But let's get something straight. He is not her father. He is not constantly with her like the mom is. He has been in and out of their life, and he will never ever feel the same pressure a mother feels. Especially a mother of multiple different kids is just an entirely different experience, and the responsibility is not the same. So disrespectfully, sir, you have no clue what the fuck you're talking about. Please stop speaking on things you clearly have no understanding of.
For Angie, what are some weaknesses in your life and what's next for you?
Weaknesses? Posting online every day, all the time. I get overwhelmed with the baby, or I just want to be there with the baby instead of like getting it online.
See, everyone's going to agree with you, but that's low-level thinking. You can do both.
It's a skill. It's like riding a bike. I'm not perfect right now, but I'll get there, and I'm okay with I'm okay with what I need, so I can continue to move forward.
Everybody is just like, the biggest skill set you guys will ever learn is how to not give a fuck how you're viewed and just be you at all times.
But really quickly, it's not about how I'm viewed. I care about maybe I'm hyper-focused on my daughter's well-being, like
100% it's about being, 100%
system.
it's about how you're viewed, because if you don't care how you're viewed, you can do it very quickly.
No, I'm not gonna, when my baby's screaming, crying, I'm not gonna be like, hey guys.
Yeah, but you can do it very quickly.
Oh my God, what the fuck are you talking about? You care more than anyone what people think of you and how you are perceived. Let's stop pretending otherwise. And just one last clip, guys, because after this exchange, he goes on to say that if him and Angie don't work out, then he'll be fine because he's winning anyways. He doesn't really care if they work out or not because he's gonna win. If my man ever said something like that to me, I'd be like, goodbye. And then he goes on to talk about how he doesn't listen to idiots that say to stay together for the kids. And I'm just like, sir, what are you talking about? Kids that aren't even yours? Why are you acting like those are your children? You're not even in her life constantly enough to be any sort of father figure. What are you talking about? You said yourself, you guys break up constantly. You talk down to her mom. You talk shit to her right in front of the daughter. What kind of father figure does that?
Me and Angie both see a long-term thing in each other. Let's let her answer.
What does long-term mean? What do you mean? A relationship, or we're stuck together?
I just don't even give a fuck, honestly. I'm going to win either way. So, I don't, it doesn't bother me. If she's in my life, she's hot, I'm winning. If it's someone else, I'm going to be winning. But, Loon needs us to be our best. And so that's why. And people are like, don't stay together just for the kids. Shut the fuck up. I don't listen to any losers. They're fucking losers.
Guys, let me tell you something. I grew up in California. Most of my life I spent in LA. So I know these types of guys, okay? Guys who run around flaunting all their shit, their material possessions, talking about how much money they have, bragging solely to impress all of the people around them. Meanwhile, it's all smoke and mirrors.
So you guys, I'm not saying that nobody else has this. I'm asking you, does anybody else have this? Does anybody else have this big glass wall that goes into the sick-ass garage that is also a TV screen? I'm just asking. I don't give a fuck if they do or not. I'm just saying I've never seen it. I'm really just wondering, does anybody else have this shit? If anyone ever thinks I'm a dick, get the fuck off my page. You're too soft to be a man anymore. There's no way if someone was speaking the way that I speak on their page, I would ever feel offended. The only people that are offended are bitches.
Typically, all their shit's rented. They don't own anything. They have to pay the women they hang out with, and they lie about how much money they have.
What has been the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
A single year, 18 million.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
24 million this year.
And the stuff they do own, 9 times out of 10 is fake from DHgate. Which, hey, if you want to buy fake knockoff shit, I ain't knocking it. But just calm your tits, little boy. And these are always the guys bragging the loudest.
One of the biggest fucking problems I see is everybody nowadays says they make a mil a month, 2 mil a month. Shit don't add up, homie. Success leaves fucking clues. Where's your shit at? If you make $2 million a month, where's the fucking shit at? Because when you make that much, there is so much left over, shit starts to stack the fuck up to where the wide body Urus and the Bugatti combo is dusted, motherfucker. You guys are at $400,000 used Cullinan money. I remember when I was at that level. I get it. But you don't say that you're at the 2 mil, 3 mil, a mil a month mark if you've never even scratched that surface. That life looks different.
This guy is the definition of buying things you don't even need with the money you don't even have to impress people you don't even know. This guy truly reminds me of those MLM scammers running around talking about their pyramid scheme, bragging about how much money they have, how rich they are, because, well, their job depends on it. Guys, I swear to God, I must be some sort of psychic or witch or something, because right after I finished filming this video talking about how I thought Wes was some sort of MLM pyramid scammer, I am scrolling on TikTok and I see none other than Jesse Lee Ward, the Jesse Lee Ward, on TikTok talking about Wes himself. I told you guys there was something about Wes's post that reeked of MLM scams. If you don't know, they talk in this very braggy way. They flex everything. They use this very curated motivational language that's just so transparent. So anyways, in this video, Jesse's talking about how Wes told her to flex more. And why would she need to flex more? Well, that's because that's the way this business structure works. When you flex your belongings, luxury items, or even like vacations, people start messaging you because they want to ask what you do. And you will notice in just a second that Jesse speaks the exact same way Wes does. Just very braggy, full of themselves, and honestly just gives off a very narcissistic vibe, if you ask me. And real quick, just for those of you who don't know who Jesse Lee Ward is, she was this super unhinged MLM boss babe who, in my opinion, scammed a ton of people. She was one of the most well-known figures in the MLM world, and if you look her up, you will find countless stories of her and all of her shenanigans, most of them related to crazy-ass claims, how she scammed people, stuff like that. And tragically, Jesse Lee Ward passed away from cancer at only 35 years old, and after her diagnosis, she claimed she was trying to heal herself naturally with a positive mindset and the supplements she was shilling. You can kind of see how their way of thinking can be very problematic and dangerous. Not to mention, if you know anything about MLMs and pyramid schemes, you will know that it's nearly impossible for anyone to make money. Only the top 1% or 2%, something like that, don't quote me. The top people, they're the only ones that make money, and everyone else in the downline, it's impossible. Now, I mention all of this to say that if you know anything about MLMs, as I said, you know that they are very cult-like. The mindset is very culty. Everyone has to think the exact same way, say the same things. They all act the same. Otherwise, your upline can get very aggressive. And Jessie didn't have many friends outside of the MLM world. She never, that I saw, never posted anyone outside of the MLM scope. So the fact that she's friends with Wes is very interesting to me. And if you know anything about Jesse Lee Ward, she would absolutely never be friends with somebody who did not 100% approve of her MLM business. So this kind of made me want to take a deeper look into Wes's business. I did not do that in this video because, of course, I found this information out a little too late. But I don't know, something just doesn't add up here, in my opinion. And really quick, before we move on to the next clip, I just want to say that Jesse Lee Ward would post the same content as Wes would. Same caption, different font, just the same language and vibe. And they would both constantly flex and brag about their jewelry, cars, other various luxurious items because, well, That's the real product they're selling, a lifestyle. And now I'm not making any specific claims about Wes, but in general, MLMs do not sell a product. I mean, they do, but that's not how they make the real money. They sell a lifestyle. And so they utilize social media to entice you with their posts and stories about various things. Like I mentioned, the trips, jewelry, shoes, clothes, whatever. And those are the things that draw people in and make them curious. So they start to think, what is this person doing and how can I be part of it? And they want you to sign up and enroll under them because they make money off recruitment, not from the supplements, plans, courses, or whatever it is that is just used for legal reasons to not be considered a pyramid scheme. So many of these business models are structured in a way where you might pay $200, $300 to join and the product itself will be like $30. So they're not actually making the money from the product. They're obviously making money from recruitment and by people joining their team, which is why so many people compare them to pyramid schemes. And a red flag, a way for you to spot these business models is if a person says things like, join my team, my downline, my coaching program, sign up for my business courses, join my elite or platinum program. Now, again, I am not making any claims. I just want to know, do any of those phrases sound familiar to you?
Hi, it's Jessie Lee. I'm a business coach and a super successful entrepreneur. You can feel free to follow me if you'd like to. I respect this comment, but look, okay, so I'm going to tell you the person who told me this. As soon as I say it, some of you are going to know exactly who it is. You're going to be like, yeah, Jessie Lee, it definitely happened. Because some of you are going to know who he is literally right away. So I'll tell you who it is. So if you go check out Wes Watson, and you can go ahead and message him and be like, hey, tell me, is Jessie Lee your friend? He'll talk to you. He's Watson Fit on Instagram. He is also a business coach, but I swear to you, the man... he's intense, okay? Like, he makes me curl up into like a little ball. He was in prison, I think, for 10 years. Then he got out and he's become a multi-millionaire, and he shows everything. Like, he shows his 35-acre like lot with his gigantic 40,000 square foot house. He shows his 9 supercars. He flexes all the time. And so it's definitely Wes's style, and his whole point was like, Jessie Lee, you literally don't show anybody anything, and it's like, it needs to stop. And I understand the purpose, and I actually really like the comments on that TikTok in general, so thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. A lot of good feedback. And I think that naturally my lifestyle is just kind of above and beyond anyway, so I think it's obvious if you follow closely. Like, I just landed, again, flying private. You probably saw it in my Instagram stories. It's the same handle, I'm Bossly. That's my fourth private... I can't talk today. That's my fourth private flight in, 2 weeks? 10 days? Yeah. And then, my life is a movie. But at any rate, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to go get some more work done. I did just land from the Bahamas. I was there for 4 days, and so I have a lot of work to catch up on. But he truly exists, and I guess I'm bad at rich flexing or whatever. I came on here again with no makeup, no nothing. I guess if you would know those are Tiffany's earrings, you would know. But they're like $300. It's not that serious. And I definitely got them as a gift, but... this isn't even a matching pair, actually. Okay, that's enough. I'm done. I'm bad at the rich flexing thing. My life is real. I'm really a business coach. You can check out the link in the bio. A bunch of you signed up for my coaching, actually, from that last TikTok. So that's cool. Let's make you some money. Ciao.
And the reason they do that is because that's what sells people. That's what hooks you. And truly, that's the only thing they can do is show off their belongings and their material possessions because their message is shit, in my opinion. And his message is shit because he contradicts himself more than anyone I've ever seen. I mean, genuinely, he truly contradicts himself more than anyone I have seen online. Sometimes he will even contradict himself in the same breath. Here he is saying that the one thing he will not stand for is men making comments about women's appearances online.
So there's a few things I want none of you guys to stand for anymore and not call out. First thing, when any man goes talking shit about a woman's appearance online, what the fuck is that? I do not go to these guys' pages with their busted ass bitches, like, this bitch is busted. But they'll be on the shit being like, what's the matter with her lips? Feed them, dude, who are these guys who do that? Like, can you ladies check your dudes? Oh, wait, these guys don't have ladies. That's why they're like that. But I want that to get checked. that when men talk shit on women in comment sections, all you guys better check that shit.
He claims he doesn't want men talking about women's appearances, but yet he talks about their appearances all the time. He calls them fat, ugly. He talks about how he doesn't like natural tits because they look like bags of trash. He talks about them constantly. But hey, I guess you just can't talk about them if they're hot, right?
I don't like real tits. They look like shit. They're saggy as fuck and they're all floppy and shit. I like shit to look perfect. That's just me. I'm a visual person. Like, I believe in aesthetics. Most chicks' tits are fucking nasty, floppy, fucked up fucking bags of trash. So whatever the fuck.
Your bitch is ugly, bro. She will fucking listen. Go get a 10. She's gonna fucking murder you. Like, she has choices. Your ugly bitch doesn't. So she listens because she knows that's all she's got. She's fucked. Like, you guys are so fucking delusional.
If all these entrepreneur guys are such good salesmen, why are their chicks so fucking ugly? If they're so good at sales, then why the fuck are their chicks so ugly? The only guys that I know that are entrepreneurs that have hot chicks are my boy Eric from Texas and Yados. Who the fuck else? Tell me who else. Show me. These dudes' chicks are busted as shit. And they're going around going, I'm the greatest salesman. You couldn't sell a bitch, homie? Jesus Christ.
Like I said, I believe he treats women like material possessions, much like his purse. He likes to carry his purse in one hand and whatever girl he's rented out for the day in the other. And in fact, one of his girlfriends made a YouTube video after they broke up talking about how he was mentally and emotionally abusive. And then when they got back together, she ultimately tried to backtrack and downplay it.
And then I did address when I was like, you were verbally, emotionally abusive towards Alyssa, and that was because you were angry and you said something towards Alyssa, but we were all in like this crazy
I told her to
state.
shut the fuck up. She's 13. I told her to shut the fuck up. And I mean, it's, you know, I just shouldn't have said that.
And that's where I was like, I'm very protective over my kids, and if somebody goes towards them,
I think a
if we're in an
stepdad should
argument,
be able to tell a kid to shut the fuck up, though, at 13. I think they should.
she was.
Wes, the only one who needs to shut the fuck up is you. All he ever does is not shut the fuck up. Guys, I'm not even kidding. He yaps so much. Literally, when I was watching his story this morning, he was spitting all over his screen. Bro, is that drool on your lip? That's enough, buddy. It's time to put the phone down. And he, out of everyone, acts more like a child than any one of her kids. Who the hell does he think he is telling somebody else's kids to shut the fuck up? Are you kidding? Especially when it's not even his child. Where is the father and why isn't he putting this in check? It's so sad because you can see on her face that just shocked her and left her speechless. Like, dude, do not curse at other people's kids, period. And this is exactly why I said earlier, actually, you know, I was going to give him credit for treating both kids, you know, very nice, very kind. But after seeing this interview, there is no excuse for that whatsoever. You should never curse at kids that are not yours, especially even if they are yours. Don't curse at kids, period, okay? So anyways, that's why I said that he's really nice to the baby, but the teenager is a different story. But guys, Wes, I mean, this guy has this secret to discipline and success, or as he likes to call it, being real, rich, and rare. Or is it rare, real, whatever, I don't care. Here he is when he was on a Fresh and Fit panel talking about success or whatever the fuck. And this is how this child throws a tantrum when Andrew Wilson starts talking about how family is his definition of success.
Actually improve a person's life.
Are you proud of who the fuck you are?
Why
Well, look, are you proud? If you look in the mirror, would you guys say this motherfucker's proud of who the fuck he is? That's a bag of trash, dude. Pull your fucking shirt
Because
off
I've been-
and tell me you're fucking proud
Because
of yourself.
I've been to fucking prison?
Jesus Christ,
Because
look
I've been
at
to
you,
prison?
bro. You got 10-inch arms and tits. Men don't have tits.
No, they go to prison where they get
Fuck yeah,
where
they
get raped up the ass.
You've never been to prison. Look,
That's
you're
what
talking about shit you
happens.
don't know.
They go to prison where they get
So
raped.
now you get your ass beat in front of
You think
everybody.
that's better? You think that's better?
Let's let him give his definition of success. And then
Having tits and 10-inch arms is what a man is, you guys.
Let's let him
Please
get
don't listen to that.
Wes, let's let him get his thing out and then
Tits.
We got different opinions.
Yeah.
Titties.
Anyway, back to where I was at.
Boobs.
Yeah. Okay. Prison. But anyway, if you want,
Yeah.
if you want to,
He's such a child. This guy has such a fragile ego. It's insane. Now, when that video was released, the internet was up in arms, obviously, because he's acting like a toddler. But I have to admit, I think I was the only one that was just a little bit satisfied to see Wes go off on Andrew, because Andrew, he's truly a piece of work. He also degrades women. He thinks women shouldn't be able to vote. So in all honesty, I really don't care that Wes was on stage humiliating Andrew, even though he was in the right. But hey, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Now, if you couldn't tell by now, Wes is truly obsessed with tits. Not just women's tits, but men's tits as well. He's constantly calling out men and talking about their tits.
It's pathetic out here. These motherfuckers are pathetic. All these entrepreneurs with money that talk about fucking discipline and work ethic and yeah, this and that, and they got tits and they take their shirt off and look like a sloppy bitch. It's like, what are you, too stupid to know what's on your plate, you fat fucking lame? It's like, all these motherfuckers are so lame. I got zero respect for most of the motherfucking world. But guess what? You shouldn't get respect freely. You should fucking earn it. And guess what? I don't care if people like me. I never wanted people to like me, but you damn sure will respect what the fuck I put out.
This actually won't come as a surprise because, guys, this is where things get juicy. Because a creator called John Bravo, who I recently discovered here on YouTube, he is honestly hilarious and covers all things Wes related. So if you want to know everything and dive really deep into all the Wes shit, this is the guy. I mean, he is on his ass. Wes Watson, that piece of shit.
Wes Watson, that piece of shit.
These are just my favorite types of people, smart-ass New Yorkers, and you know that he's getting under Wes's skin because lately he's been whining on his Instagram stories about how men are making gossip videos about him, and you know exactly who he's talking about.
Everybody send this video to your favorite Wes Watson call-out dude and tell him to suck my fucking dick and pull the fuck up. Straight up. Just tell him, stop talking. He gave you the address and the time. Go see if he's there.
But the reason why I believe that Wes is so obsessed with men's titties is because allegedly, according to John Bravo, he spoke to Wes's ex-wife and she claimed that he loved to get pegged. Hence his nickname for him, Peg Watson, which he refers to him as on his channel. But guys, this isn't the first time Wes has talked about shoving things up that stinky little back door of his.
I think it was the Adam 22 podcast. Wes talks about shoving shit up his ass.
You wrap it up this big. Like, you get like a 128G, and you get copies of your 128G, which is your paperwork. You fold it over so many times, it's this big. Look at it. It's this big. You put a glove around it 3 or 4 times. You twist it up and you shove it up your ass.
Just stop thinking about it after a while?
Yeah, then you go to the next place, you shit out, you got your paperwork, and now you don't have to wait for it. And it's this big.
Right.
I told you I went down to Cali and I met his ex-wife. It was his wife at the time, but his ex-wife Val. And I never really came out and said anything about this, but you know, because it's whatever, I guess now's the time. But yeah, she would tell me that Wes liked to get pegged.
Which, guys, makes this next video make a whole lot more sense because Wes ran into P. Diddy at a restaurant and he was very excited. And this wasn't a long time ago. This was when P. Diddy was already fighting charges and everybody knew what he was up against. And the look on Wes's face, the excitement. Perhaps was he looking for a connect on baby oil? Maybe Wes was looking for a little lubrication. Hey, I ain't judging.
Down here at Pura Vida by my pad, run into the man right here.
What's up?
Miami's like that. Yeah. It's a movie. I mean, crazy coincidence? Man, that's weird.
But whatever, I don't care. Listen, guys, I love the gays. I'm not here to judge. The real reason why we're talking about Wes today is because lately he's been on his Instagram story begging guys to come to his gym and fight him.
I was here again today and nobody pulled up. We're in the parking lot. We walked in. I'm here again. Nobody's here. Where are they? I'm going to be here every day.
Well, just last month, on February 6th, Wes was arrested on felony battery charges. A guy showed up to Wes's gym that he had been DMing about fighting, thinking he was going to have a one-on-one fight with Wes. He set up his phone, walked up to confront Wes, who was surrounded by a bunch of his goofy-ass friends, like 5-on-1. I can't even play the video on here. I saw the video that John Bravo posted on the Twitters, but oh my God, you guys, this video was so brutal. Wes and 4 of his buddies brutally assaulted this guy, hit him with weight belts, a dumbbell, and punched him upwards of 50 times, kicked him during the fight, and then when the fight was done and over, everything was settled, everything was done, Wes walked back up while the guy was on the ground and soccer kicked him again in the face. This guy suffered a concussion, 2 black eyes, and a face fracture. And after all of that, Wes was still not able to knock him out. I'm glad he didn't, but it just shows you how weak this man is. So much for all that talk about discipline and self-development, right? So after this fight, if that's even what you want to call it, little baby Wes ran through a range of emotions. At first, he was trying to act like some big hot shot, like he was so tough, some hard ass, but then people started finding out what really happened. And as people started uncovering the truth, his story began to shift. He went from acting all tough, trying to intimidate people online who dared to try to step to him, to getting a little nervous, in my opinion. He may have started to finally realize that there was a case open against him and the cops, they might be watching your every move. So real quick, let's get into this statement that he posted on Instagram, because like I said, he went from acting like a hard ass, like he had just won some crazy fight, to Mr. Yogi, Mr. World Peace, which I think he started getting a little scared. Okay, so this is what he posted to his Instagram story after the fight. A hater came and tried to test me yesterday at the gym. He was at least a foot taller than me and not a normal looking dude. He was a street looking mother effer. I tried to talk him out of the fight, but he insisted, and it did not go as he planned. This was complete self-defense, and he was so badly injured, the cops were called by the gym, and the ambulance came. Everyone stop trying to talk violence online and bring it to a mother effer. I don't want that for anyone. I hope moving forward we can all just stay positive and stay focused on getting ripped, becoming rich, and staying rare mother effers. Fuck around and find out. You can't make this shit up. You just can't. Oh my God. He goes from everyone stop trying to talk violence, he wants peace, to fuck around and find out, motherfuckers. Which is honestly just so West coded. It's chef's kiss. Like, dude, you say you're a millionaire. Why didn't you hire a lawyer to write that? Like, why are you talking? Like, shut up. Do you really not know how to shut your mouth? Seriously, did your lawyer not instruct you? Don't post about it. Don't say anything. Shut your big fat fucking mouth. Like, where is your legal team? Fire them immediately if they fucking allowed this shit. I told you, Wes is the CEO of contradicting himself. So needless to say, it's not looking good for Peg Watson, because he might be going to prison yet again for almost the exact same thing that he was arrested for in 2010 when he almost killed someone. And you'd think this punk-ass clown would be more concerned with fighting his case because he could be facing up to 15 years in prison, but no. He's more concerned with the internet finding out that he's been lying about his height this entire time. I mean, guys, this just shows you how weak and fragile this little man is, because he's been lying to everybody, telling everyone he's 6 foot tall, and when his paperwork was released, it says that he's 5'8". So now he's crying all over the internet that people are saying he's not 6 foot.
How tall am I? I'm 6 foot. When we went into medical, when I was booked, I was 6 foot, 252. And I said, why the f does my paperwork say 5'8", 230? That's the eyeball of the arresting officer. You can ask anybody in the TGK system, do you actually take their weight and height from the scale at medical, or is it the arresting officer's account of the situation? The arresting officer eyeballs you. He doesn't even look at your ID and write it down. He eyeballed that, put it on the paperwork. That was the only paperwork that flew. When we got to medical, 6 foot, 252, suck on this shit. Come see me in person and you'll see how big your boy is. Stop with your fucking bullshit. But guess what? I
love it because it's just so crazy that you guys are so obsessed with me. I love it. I love it.
I'm 250, 6 foot, and I ain't small.
How tall is Jack? I'm like 5'8"-ish. He's 5'8". Okay, Jack's 5'8". We're standing on shoes. I have no lifters in my shoes. These are Chucks. People online say I'm 5'8". Okay, am I 5'8"?
Probably a little taller.
No.
I hope I'm 5'8".
He's 5'8". I'm like fucking 5'11" or 6 foot.
I'm 6 feet.
Look at it. How tall are you, sir?
I'm 6 feet.
Okay. Who's 5'8"?
Yeah.
See if I'm taller than them.
What up?
Motherfuckers say I'm motherfucking 5'8". Dick's 5'8".
Yeah.
Anybody who takes pictures with me in person, anybody who films with me in person, if you see people saying I'm small or I'm short, debunk their lies. Because we don't need people lying about people online, especially solid people who change lives. They all say I lie about my height. I'm not 5'8". I'm 6 foot 250 plus.
That's what someone just told me. I totally didn't think about it. All the tall dudes who can't build muscle because they're pussies and they don't stick to it long enough, those are the people saying I'm 5'8" because they're like, they can't fathom that a tall guy could get that thick from years and years of training. That's what it is. Oh, fuck. Because it's never a short dude going, you're 5'8". It's always some tall dude thinking he's cool because he's just naturally tall, but he can't fathom, I must be lying about my height because there's no way I could be that thick at 6 feet. Dumb fucks. Someone just reminded me of that. Brittany.
And look, I don't know why he cares so much. Like, truly, who cares about your height? But if you're that insecure about something so small like your height, how can you possibly preach about confidence and personal development? If a simple claim about you being 5'8" causes you to severely unravel so easily. He and everyone around him love to act like he's Mr. Richness, some successful entrepreneur, always bragging about his wealth and status. But the truth is, he doesn't even know how to carry himself. Do you ever actually see real millionaires running around challenging people to fights or begging to fight them online? That's just goofy boy clown behavior. I mean, not even Jake Paul acts like that. And at least when he's fighting, he's getting paid for it. The only thing Wes is getting out of this is another opportunity to shove his paperwork up his ass. Look, what I'm trying to say is that people with that much money typically carry themselves with some class and elegance. There is a sense of prestige and notoriety that comes with it. They understand what they have to lose and they don't run around threatening people, challenging people that they don't like to fight them. It's just simply too risky. But Wes, he is his own biggest liability. Anyways, guys, like I said, to truly understand how awful this guy is, please go check out John Bravo's channel. I'll have it linked below. He does some great research, delivers it in a hilarious way, and his video quality is always on point. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Thanks, guys. Take care.